We are still standing. I'll take the national pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Please, let's be seated. Be seated. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, representing the chairman of this event, His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, let me welcome you, Your Excellency, Barrister Chinyere Ekomaro, Deputy Governor, Imo State. You're welcome. I'd like to welcome here the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, represented here by Mrs. Osarati Ihoma Grace. I welcome you. Thank you very much. Also here with us, the chairman. Please, the room is noisy. Can we bring down the voices, please? Can we bring down the voices, please? Thank you. Thank you. Please, we are still gisting here. Can we keep one room, please? Thank you. Let me welcome with respect the chairman of NDDC Governing Board, Mr. Chidu Ebie. I welcome you, sir. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome here the Managing Director of NDDC, Chief Samuel Ogbuku, PhD. I welcome you, sir. Thank you very much. Also here, I'd like to welcome the Executive Directors of NDDC, Alabo Honorable Boma Iyaye, Esquire, Executive Director of Finance and Administration, you're welcome. Executive Director of Projects, Honorable Victor Antai, is here with us, so welcome you. Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde, Executive Director of Corporate Services, and also members of the board, the NDDC members of the board, from Abia State, Chief Enuba Dingba, from Akwa Ibom, Apostle Abasa Dikan R. Unkono, from Bayelsa State, Senator Dimaru Demyabofa, from Cross River, Honorable Orok Otu Duke, JP, from Delta State, Right Honorable Monday Buya, from Edo State, Honorable Patrick Aisoweren, from Imo State, Chidebere K. Uchebu, from Ondo State, Honorable Otito here, stakeholders in Niger Delta. I welcome all of you. The Olorogun Barrister Ese Gam Owe, President General Urobo Progress Union worldwide, is here with us. Let me welcome all of you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with pleasure that I welcome all of you to this technical session of the 2024 NDDC Stakeholders Summit. Not be alone to handle this event. Seleme, daughter of the soil, lover of Niger Delta, delectable, elegant, is also here.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to this very all-important summit. This will be a summit that will be escalating the need, the desire for conversations, and of course, intentional consultations to identify the basic needs of the Niger Delta people. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point have the singular honor and privilege to introduce and welcome, while we invite and put our hands together, the MDCEO of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Chief Samuel Oboku, to give his welcome address. Oh, sorry. I beg your pardon, not the MDCEO. It is the chairman, I beg your pardon. Please forgive me. Please may we invite, with all respect, the chairman of the NDDC Governing Board, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, to give the welcome address.
The chairman of today's occasion, Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma, who also doubles as the chairman of the recently activated Advisory Committee of the Niger Delta Development Commission, very eminently represented by the Deputy Governor of Imo State. Members of the National Assembly, led by the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on NDDC, Honorable Jafar Uleko, the representative of our keynote speaker, the National Security Advisor, our lords, temporal and spiritual, my colleagues on the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, our very dear and invited participants to this summit, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy that I After years of agitation, we have secured significant rights and resources, which include the 13% derivation, the creation of the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Presidential Amnesty Program, and the establishment of community development funds under the Petroleum Industry Act, amongst others. These rights are designed to ensure that the people of the Niger Delta enjoy the full benefits of the resources allocated to our region. However, to fully capitalize on these benefits, we must create a conducive environment for investments. It is up to us, the indigents of the Niger Delta region, to ensure that our dear region is seen as a location for valuable feedback and address any concerns promptly. This approach is essential in driving our mission forward and achieving our long-term goals. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this timely and collaborative summit will help us achieve our joint objectives of a stronger, more stable region where the development gains we realize will be concrete and sustainable. I am full of hope that this interaction will reshape opinions and dispositions. Led by our cerebral and forward-thinking Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Oboku, our management
come here, the executive.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to stand on the already established protocol. I'm standing in for His Excellency, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, who is the chairman of the occasion and the chairman advisory committee of the NDDC. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Today, we're attending a stakeholders meeting. Stakeholders are very important in the project of NDDC. They offer perspective of needs in areas and in communities so that the programs are sustainable. The Niger Delta region is rich in resources, but its people have long been plagued with poverty, pollution, and neglect. Sustainability is key to ensuring that projects in this region truly benefit the communities they serve. We must prioritize environmental sustainability, social responsibility, and economic viability in all our projects. This means investing in renewable energy, protecting natural habitats, and supporting local businesses. Let us all work together to create a brighter future for the Niger Delta, where development and sustainability go hand in hand. So as we deliberate today at this stakeholders meeting, may God continue to guide and protect us in all the decisions we share and discuss today. Thank you very much.
The Deputy Governor of Imo State, a lawyer that understands the issues and absolutely passionate about the Niger Delta. We thank you so very much. What we'll be doing now will be a set of goodwill messages. But let me first and foremost recognize here an amazing woman, Ms. Ankyo Briggs, environmentalist, human rights activist. She has a voice that touches nationwide. I welcome you very specially, Ms. Ankyo Briggs. Thank you very much. And thank you for your decades, and I'm adding S to the decades, work in the area of human rights activism. Thank you very much. We would like to have quickly the list for the goodwill messages. Very quickly. Sele, over to you. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to deliver a goodwill message, may I respectfully invite the Presidential Amnesty Coordinator, High Chief Dennis Otaro.
Good morning, Your Excellency. Good morning, my MD and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Dennis Bruto Otuaro, Administrator, Presidential Amnesty. Stakeholder engagement is a very critical part in the design for projects. You know, like me, I'm a product of the NDDC. I left here from here, reassigned to the Amnesty program. And I know that this new management, they know the critical role of peace and stability. And when you are talking about peace and stability, is the stakeholders, our mothers, the youth, the Ankyo Briggs, our Highness there, Igbe there, these are the people. And over the years, many of these stakeholders were really alienated from the activities of this agency. And people don't even really know what was happening. But stakeholder engagement is what we go to our villages. Some of our kings, they don't go to their villages. They are in the cities. It's not because of their own making, but it's because there is no peace in their terrain. And today, when we have this opportunity like this, all of us, we should grab it with both ends and encourage the management of the NDDC to continue with this stakeholder engagement. When we encourage them, even projects in our areas, they will seek our opinion. They will seek our opinion, and they will know that these are the immediate things that the communities they need. I know that the terrain in the NDDC, and we should not use foul languages. We know that there is some desperation in the land, but this is a new dawn for Niger Delta under the new NDDC management. Thank you.
The man I just spoke understands the intricacies of what administration of the Niger Delta is all about. He is the administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Chief Dennis Brutu Otuaro, PhD, we appreciate you. And let me also say that Her Excellency Barrister Mrs. Chinyere Ekomaro is also PhD. Thank you very much for coming one more time. Recognize here, because part of the stakeholders for the Niger Delta are the youths of the region that are part of the drive to bring sustainable development to the Niger Delta. The President of Ijaw Youth Council worldwide, Sir Jonathan Lopobri Sr., is here with us, and I'd like to invite him to the microphone to tell us that the teeming millions of youths of the Niger Delta are part of the drive and vanguard and soldiers that will bring sustainable development to the Niger Delta. I welcome you.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, the National Security Advisor, being represented by our dear sister, the Chairman of the NDDC Board, the Managing Director and the entire management of the Niger Delta Development Commission. My traditional rulers, our royal fathers, our mothers, our youths. I welcome you all on behalf of the youths of the Niger Delta. Today, we are standing before history because the Niger Delta Commission, under the present leadership represented by youth, have decided that Niger Deltans become a part of the solution to the issues we are dealing with over the past. There's no gainsaying that the problems of the Niger Delta are enormous, and the Commission in itself alone cannot have a grasp of all of this together without interacting with stakeholders. And this is the purpose why we have gathered here today. My appeal to us as youth, please, Niger Delta is the home you have. Contribute to the growth and development of our region. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Delta. And now to give her own goodwill message on behalf of the Niger Delta women, may I respectfully invite a human rights activist and environmentalist, Anne Q. Briggs.
Am I too short? Good afternoon, everyone. May I please stand on existing protocol, but may I take the privilege commission. As a woman, as a mother in the Niger Delta region, anyone, female or male, that is under my age, I lovingly address as my sons or my daughter. To the development, the growth, or lack of participation by women within this region in the discussion of development has been very obvious. And you have encouraged us, MD, since you came on board, you and your board, you have encouraged us and you have given us the space twice to interact with you as your sisters, as your mothers, as your people, the women of the Niger Delta region, to participate with you, to bring this discourse. I think that they should take a cue from you, starting with the petroleum area, the gas area, to have interaction with the people of the NDDC was created not outside. We also have capacity for women that will be governors in the Niger Delta. We have capacity for women that will be presidents of Nigeria in the future. We have that type of capacity in the Niger Delta region, and it should not be ignored. MD, I congratulate you and your board. I thank you also because you actually have persevered. It could be representation at the local level all the way up to the Senate, where things like this will be discouraged and obstacles will be put in the ways of these things happening, where the people of the Niger Delta actually are not given a voice but are allowed to exercise and express those voices. And I want to say to you that women in the Niger Delta today will, and have been in the past, and will continue moving forward to be part of the discussion of the development, the growth of the Niger Delta region. Thank you very much.
She is ageless, her voice timeless. The issues she raised are beyond this time. Let's appreciate this amazing human rights activist. We thank you very much. Also, former chairman of APC in Imo State, we welcome you. Thank you very much. One of the group of people that ensures the delivery of some of the projects of NDDC are the indigenous contractors. The Niger Delta indigenous
region. We are committed to fostering collaboration, dialogue, and progress that will benefit the people and the environment of the Niger Delta. As indigenous contractors, we understand the importance of sustainable development and the need for inclusive participation in shaping the future of our region. We are dedicated to contributing our expertise, insights, and resources towards the advancement of the Niger Delta region. We believe that through open and constructive dialogue, we can address the challenges facing the region and work towards actionable solutions that will have a lasting and positive impact. Our collective efforts and commitment to excellence will be instrumental in driving progress and prosperity in the...
Thank you very much. While we're still sticking to the stringent rule of 2 minutes for goodwill messages, may I respectfully invite to give a goodwill message Chief Professor Jasper F. Jumbo, National Chairman, Founding Fathers of the defunct UNPADEC.
The governor of Imo State, the representative of my former Ogadem, the National Security Advisor, the chairman of the board of NDDC, the first son of Niger Delta, the managing director of NDDC, the wonderful executive directors who are working with him, the management of NDDC, my colleagues, the founding fathers of the defunct UMPADEC and NDDC, those who were like teachers, measuring yam with ruler. I have some of them here. Professor Jetson Osai, Dr. Elania, they just mentioned Makon Ndomibo, the only Igbo man that brought 30,000 and gave to my late wife when we were with Okilo. His Excellency Okilo, Senator Fred Bume, and all that. But I'd like to underscore one very important point before I make some key points. Government arrangement. I was mandated officially by the various agencies to do the covert research. I wrote the blueprints, and I say it openly. The then National Security Advisor, General Guzo, he was first the coordinator of national security, boss to Chief A.K. Hosford. That was how we worked to get these things in place. They helped our people. We are going to help our people again. And when I'm saying it with no apologies. I'm saying it as a father in the region. You don't expect these gentlemen were brought to run NDDC. Padek Guest House, 21 Hele Salesi Street at Asokoro. When we brought 15 thematic provisions to the funding provision of the NDDC Act, President Obasanjo then shouted, Ishiazu, that's what he used to call me, head of fish. You want to take all Nigerian money, go give your people. He cut it down to 8. It was late. Then, Director of Finance of the UMPADEC that we brought, we now tinkered it to get the 8 provisions. But the federal government, investment, no government gave us 1 kobo. It's our intellectual franchise, our patent. Yes, that's the truth. So when people are doing this, they have to understand this. We're not begging anybody. We have come to this stakeholders forum to make a point known to everybody. Why should the federal allocations to them? Tell the National Security Advisor that a former PA to General Guzo, who worked with him to set up this thing, he should tell the president, if they are borrowing money to execute projects in Nigeria, they should borrow money and pay back to the NDDC. They are standing to our brother, a junior brother, who is in PAP, is there. Tell them that this is our position. They should go and get this money and give them the 2 trillion naira. Let me see how Sam Obuku, whose father, Rex Obuku, worked with us when he was working under Okilo, will have the money and he won't pay the contractors. Or will have the money and he will give it to the youth. We'll go and wait for him at the junction. Just, you know me so? Second, my friend, wait. This is the main stakeholders. So I want the people who will take it. You take it and you tell my friend Hope Uzodinma, Senator Hope Uzodinma, I said so. He was running the streets here with us in Port Harcourt before he went to the Senate. Tell him I said so. He knows me very well. Let him tell them. Let him tell the president. That is the position of the fathers of the region. Secondly, the Northeast Development Commission is getting 3% of VAT. I can't see why the NDDC shouldn't be getting, similar 3% VAT. Tell them that we are demanding that as of right, as part of the funding provisions of the NDDC, they should give them 3% VAT. Please note it down and make it. If you want me, I'll write him. But this is our position. This supersedes any other thing that come, any other thing they're doing here, they're palliatives. This is the main thrust. Let them have the money and let us see why they can't give us legacy projects. Because we have full confidence in this board. Apart from when Tina Laibe was here, this is the best board we have had. And anybody who knows me in this region know that I'm not saying it to praise them. If they're not doing well, I'll tell them to their faces. They're all my juniors by age. Forget about that, I'm looking like Bobo. Having said so, please fund them effectively. The wealth with which we are bolstering the mode and modalities of the average Nigerian, setting up all the things we are setting up in Abuja, in Lagos and elsewhere, is derived from our backyard. By the way, I come from Bonny, where you have the Shell highest oil terminal. NLNG is on my family land. So I'm talking authoritatively as an owner. And many of them are owners. So go and tell them that the owners and co-developers, stakeholders in this nation, we are demanding as of right. We are all part and parcel of the Renewed Hope agenda. I'm the acting national chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee. We didn't do it that we want anything. No, we did it because we believe in the Renewed Hope agenda. And the Renewed Hope agenda will translate to dividends of democracy when they get this money and give to the NDDC. May everybody be blessed in Jesus' name.
You know, if you're a warrior no matter your age. The man has agitation, but age is still on his side. Professor, we thank you very much. We appreciate you. Also here, let me quickly welcome His Royal Majesty Sir Dr. King Samuel Ele Mwe, the Coordinator Supreme Council of Ogoni Traditional Rulers that is here with us. And let me also quickly welcome Right Honorable Ima Deya, the President General Kagote. Your Excellencies, distinguished I'd like to welcome here the
Thank you. My time starts now. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, representing my good friend, Senator Hope Uzodimma, and my colleague, the National Security Advisor represented, the Chairman NDDC, the MD of NDDC, and other board members and management, the interim administrator of Presidential Amnesty, and all stakeholders. First and foremost, I bring greetings from our father and leader of PANDEF, Senator Chief Edwin Clark, who is unavoidably absent because of his travel for a medical checkup. He sends his greetings to all of you. We want to congratulate the board and the management of NDDC for this stakeholders meeting. We've had a couple of interactions with the current board, with the current MD of NDDC, and we have seen his direction and focus. We are very happy to be part of this stakeholders forum today. NDDC is an agency of management issues. That's why I want to thank the present board and management in what they are doing to redeem that deficiency. And I want to join the traditional ruler to plead with Mr. President to release all the outstanding money for NDDC, which is over 2 trillion. You cannot set up an agency and you don't fund it and expect it to do what it's supposed to do. There are a lot of issues in the Niger Delta region. The regional plan, which the Niger Delta region, they should have their money so that they can do their project. The single treasury account does not help NDDC to achieve its aim. I want to, during the breakout sessions, we'll give our further suggestions on the way to improve NDDC. Thank you and God bless.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, ably represented by our dear Deputy Governor, Dr. Mrs. Chinyere, or Lady Mrs. Chinyere Ekomaro, the Chairman, Niger Delta Development Commission, the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, the board members and management of Niger Delta Development Commission, the monarchs and my royal colleagues, till they complete their tenure. We should also look into abandoned projects. I left the commission 2009, and all the projects we embarked on that time, we are all abandoned. And some of them were removed from the budget. No more, those that are there are no longer, have no budgetary provisions. So please, the management should look into this. All the regional projects should not be abandoned. We should move back to them and get our region developed. I thank you for the first board till now. The federal government is still owing NDDC. You cannot embark on any project without money. Without fund, you cannot. The MD or the chairman will not use their blood to develop this place. And everybody is on them. Everybody is on the board. Everybody is, NDDC is not doing anything. They are eating our money. You cannot eat money you have not seen. And you cannot eat money raw. You must embark on projects. So we are saying, federal government should see that, one, they release, I resolve them anyhow. Wake up in the morning, you say they are going. And they should cease to consume what you call it, caretaker.
For the goodwill messages, let me welcome here which state, but is deeply in love with the Niger Delta. He's representing the good people of Bogoro Das. He's also the deputy chair of the House Committee on NDDC. Please welcome here Honorable Jafaru Gambo Leko.
Thank you, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Imo State, heavily represented by Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor. They said behind any successful governor, there must be a woman. And that is why the Governor of Progressive Governors is successful. You are welcome, ma. The Chairman of Government Board of the NDDC, the Managing Director and his team, the representative of the National Security Advisor, our royal fathers here, other highly respected, distinguished stakeholders that are here. You are all welcome. I'm standing in here to give a goodwill message of the leadership of the National Assembly under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Tajuddin Abbas and my chairman of the Committee on NDDC, Right Honorable Tache Swenu Ibori. I think for me, this very important summit is timely. Just yesterday, the board management of NDDC appeared before the committee, and those who were there have seen the level of this new board is not just with the stakeholders. We also have that very good collaboration with the National Assembly. And I must have to commend Mr. President for choosing these very, very passionate people to lead the NDDC. I think listening carefully, I have jotted down very, very important issues. But I also want to point, very importantly, why years back, the budget of NDDC is not seeing light of the day. It's because they are eating the money raw. But this present management are not eating the money raw. They are performing because they have executed, and we witness number of projects. So therefore, we are committed because the management and board are committed. We will continue to ensure that the National Assembly will continue to inject money, and as I promised, within the shortest possible time, God willing, we are passing this budget. I also want to congratulate the board for the number of projects the commission recently. And whenever my chairman is very busy, because I have passion for this region, I always make myself available.
Senator Emmanuel M. Udende, Senator Austin O. Akobundo, Senator Joel Onowakpo Thompson, Senator Anthony Ani, Senator Tony Nwoye, Senator Kelvin Chukwu, and Senator Onyeso Allwell, Senator Olajide Ikpe Songba. They are all here. Can we appreciate all the distinguished senators that are here? But to finally wrap up our goodwill this afternoon, let me welcome here distinguished Senator Williams Eteng Jonah. Distinguished Senator, there was a rule of 2 minutes. I don't know if it will affect the right chamber. Thank you very much. I welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning. Our chairman, our MD, our traditional rulers, and all the stakeholders of the NDDC. Your Excellencies, I've said good morning. I bring greetings from the Senate President, the President of the Senate, who is from the Niger Delta. And I also give you an information that today, the corpse of one of us, Dr. Joseph Wires, arrived in Nigeria after so many years. And they said I have only 1 minute, but I would say from us, from the National Assembly, you have a vote of confidence from us. And I would say also, and use our palace. Those in support of what I've said should say aye, and those against, so you have our support. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Development Summit Technical Session. May I have the honor, privilege of introducing and inviting on stage the lead presenter of today, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, National Security Advisor, NSA, ably represented by Mrs. Osaritin Ihoma Grace.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks to the board and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, for organizing this Stakeholders Summit technical section and inviting the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, to make of the event renewed hope for sustainable development in the Niger Delta. Firstly, let me apologize for the unavoidable absence of my boss, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, who has authorized that I represent him in this section. My name, you already know, is Osariti Ihoma Grace. I'm the SA on Energy Security and Niger Delta. The chairman of this occasion, His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodimma, Executive Governor of Imo State, ably represented by his amiable Deputy Governor, Chairman and the Governing Board of Niger Delta Development Commission, Mr. Chinedu Ebi, the Managing Director of Niger Delta Development Commission, Chief Samuel Obuku, member of the National Assembly present here, dignitaries, our royal fathers, the judge on existing protocol. I present to you the speech of the National Security Advisor. I am very delighted to be here today as a special guest of honor at this all-important summit. The theme of this summit, which is Hope for Sustainable Development in the Niger Delta, could not have been more apt, given the effort being made towards the Renewed Hope initiative of the current administration of the President and Commander of Chief of Army Force agenda. That within the President's broader and long-term national security vision, which includes moving internal security from the current posture from kinetic to non-kinetic operation, I will emphasize security from human and economic development point of view to deepen democratic culture in the Niger Delta. In view of the above two central ideas, I am determined to set up for the first time in the Office of the National Security Advisor a security model for the Niger Delta. Although this can, as stakeholders, take a critical look at a peculiar security challenges of the region in a focused and professional way. Accordingly, my team on Niger Delta, led by my special advisor on energy security and Niger Delta affairs, is currently working closely with the governors of the region and the presidency. They will eventually include all stakeholders of the region, such as community leaders, traditional rulers, women, youth and students, government security agencies, federal government agencies relevant to the region, businesses, civil society, people organization, and media. we will have a very robust engagement in Niger Delta. Before 2024, 1.8 million barrels of per day production quota was allotted to Nigeria by OPEC. However, only about 1.5 million barrels per day with a shortfall of 600,000 million per day is produced. This is due to socio-economic issues that relate to security, such as crude oil theft, pipeline vandalization, environmentally harmful artisanal refinery, sea piracy, and youth militancy. The President is deeply concerned that the purpose of the federal agency, which we know are supposed to respond to socio-economic issues, stabilize and integrate the region, is not proving successful third quarter. That is why a collaborative policy and intervention framework must be necessary. The failure to understand and respond favorably in the policy of your sensibilities generated a lot of insecurity, collective security as a nation. Your communities and your groups and their expressed view and desire will therefore be key to policy making for peace and social stability, the ecology and the environmental pollution. Niger Delta is the world's 10th largest and African largest deltatic ecosystem. It is ecologically highly diverse, complex, sensitive, and logically challenging. Your people are braved, survived, and made their homes out of this ecosystem. The oil and gas business and its negative externalities place a lot of pressure on your physical and social ecosystem and the people's livelihood. This has introduced an additional layer to the nature and context for current conflict dynamics, as pollution to air, water, vegetation, and land has implication for health, livelihood, ecosystem sustainability, and future survival. With demonstrable consequence of national security, the President hopes to make a policy for sustainable development that addresses the implication of environmental issues to security as a central theme. The socioeconomic context to security and conflict. Nigeria centralizes top-down, rent-dependent, and place on you for access, for opportunities and decision-making process, and for effective participation in the oil and gas economy of your communities. Social tension generated by the policies centered around ownership, control, and management of oil and gas by subnational stakeholders, particularly the communities. The nature of the political economy and the socio-economic fallout provide another important layer of conflict and security, with the implication of social stability and national integration that imparts national security. We're also looking at the culture and the value contents to security and conflict. The traditionally welcoming and hospitable communities of the Niger Delta at the onset of oil and gas industry have turned hostile, including aligning with rogue elements at all levels. This proved to be the result of the progressive loss of culture seen in family, communities, and society values that underpin deep ecology and sustainable development. Every form of imaginable corrupt practices and behavior now form part of our social pattern that generate conflicts and erode social harmony. Many attribute this to degenerating national leadership, political culture, and inability of the communities to cope and survive under happening changes in a way that preserves traditional value system. Mr. President considered this as critical to rebuilding the most important infrastructure of heart and mind upon which all other development depends. The government response to this, with stakeholders for socio-economic development with national security as focal purpose. Promote reorientation in values, in ideology, support of national harmony and integration. Engage professionals and technically supported incorporated host communities, accompanying as trained and regimented guide for critical assets, supervised by government security agencies under the governor in a long run. Deepening community participation in hydrocarbon business, broadening the base and capacity of policing at sub-national level. Conclusion. Sustainable peace, security, and social stabilities in the Niger Delta region that increasingly move from kinetic engagement to non-kinetic, achieve optimal outcome of set security priorities and objectives. Mr. President, thinking as a Democrat, for his Renew Hope agenda on Niger Delta security shall derive its legitimacy and credibility from listening to the people, their government, at state and local government level, leadership of community, businesses and civil society, building consensus and creating systems that will address identified limitations. As my office, the National Security Officer, puts this process in place, we hope to get into action, bring all stakeholders to make contribution. Until that is fully in place, kindly be reassured that Niger Delta has assumed a new sense of meaning and priorities in my office. With best luck, we will get there. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Our best regards to Madam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor of the Federation. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, earlier while the professor was speaking here, he alluded to the fact that our next speaker is one of the brightest in terms of being the managing director of NDDC. And for me, by putting him on the same
Your Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, here represented by Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, our special guest of honor, the NSA represented here, and House of Reps members, the Chairman of the Governing Board of NDDC, Executive Directors, members of the Board of NDDC. Let me recognize the coordinator of the Amnesty Program, top government functionaries that are here, royal fathers, leaders of ethnic nationalities, women, press, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to make it clear that this is Niger Delta Stakeholders Summit. It is not an NDDC summit. For us to see people ventilate themselves, just like as we heard one of our fathers spoke earlier. And at the end of the day, for us to come together to have a communique that will be the opinion and the stand of the people of the Niger Delta. That is the essence of this summit. At this point, the event today is the technical session. The technical session is actually the most important aspect of the summit, because the technical session will give opportunity to participants to also contribute their guest of honor and Mr. President as a special guest of honor. I thought I should use this opportunity to give a little brief of this summit, because this summit, it is to aggregate and also evaluate how far we have gone. It is an opportunity for us to look behind to see if we have made progress or not. But I want to believe that from the standpoint of where we started from agitation to this point, right now the agitation has moved from being on the streets, carrying arms, to intellectual agitation. This, what we are doing here today, forms part of the intellectual consult our stakeholders, and that is why we are here today. Rewind to rebirth. because we are rebirthing the new NDDC and the renewed NDDC. Now, after the rewind to rebirth, we came to the triple T policy of transiting from transaction to transformation. We believe it is our responsibility to transform the Niger Delta region. And in transforming the Niger Delta region, we must also put up policies that are transformative, policies that are transparent, because it is only transparency that can guarantee transformation. With that, we came up with the Project Hope in taking care of our youths, because we looked at what we have that we're doing, ranging from IT to agriculture and tailoring and every other skill that we are going to develop. We ensure that these skills are going to meet the people in their areas of competence. Just to let you know, I was discussing with the coordinator of Amnesty, and he told me that they've trained over 10,000 persons that are still redundant. It is very, very possible that these 10,000 persons that are redundant, they are trained in areas where they don't have passion. So we must also learn that when we want to train people, we must train them in. Now, having said that, we're also encouraging youths across the Niger Delta to still take opportunity to register in the Project Hope database. Because going forward, we may not be talking to you if you come to our office. We'll only meet you in the database. That gives opportunity to everybody, whether you are in Harcourt, whether you are in Owerri, whether you are in Asaba. That means from the database, you can have that opportunity without knowing anybody in the NDDC headquarters. Now we also came up with the commerce and industry, which we had to partner with the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce. Because in that, we thought there's also the need to support our entrepreneurs in the region. And in supporting the entrepreneurs in the region, how do you identify entrepreneurs? We thought the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce should be able to register its own entrepreneurs and let us deal with their members. So their members will form the bulk of the entrepreneurs in the region. So with that, we are going to meet entrepreneurs, the genuine ones, not portfolio businessmen, whom, when given money, they assume it is free money. So we are doing that, and we are also going to do that as a tripartite partnership, also bringing the Bank of Industry. So anybody who benefits, you must be qualified to benefit from it, so that money is not wasted because money is scarce. So these are the policies we are putting in place in the renewed Niger Delta under transparent process, so that everybody that is qualified can have access to benefit. It will not be an idea of who you know. That time, I think, is of the past. And with all that, we are now looking at projects in NDDC. Projects in NDDC, I can assure you, for those who have done projects recently in NDDC, you realize that NDDC is not NDDC of yesterday. I have people who have come to meet me who have said they have issues with our consultants who are inspecting their project. And I can assure you, because funny enough, I sit down in the office, I see people walk from everywhere and come, they bring proposals. This is what we want to do. Ordinarily, you know, organizations do not work that way. For you to bring a proposal, that organization must check if actually it is part of the policies of that organization. But where there is no governance structure, anybody can come to NDDC to say, we want to train widows, we want to train this, we want to train that. But with that, is going to define and specify. Because, you know, NDDC was actually with the guidance of Mr. President and with the directives of Mr. President of what we should do for the NDDC. We are doing all this so that Mr. President will be seen as the president that has actually come to make the difference in the Niger Delta. Recently, you are aware, we commissioned some legacy projects in the Niger Delta, starting from the Okitipupa transmission station, which give light to about 5 local governments that have been in darkness for the past 15 years. It was a project that was started before we came in. We decided to finish it, and we also commissioned the Ogbe-Anembe Road and the Ibuno Road project, We just go and touch some projects and just decide to complete them based on the current price. Some of these projects, as at when they were awarded, dollar is not what it is today. The price of cement is not what it is today. Inflation is taking place, and this project needs variation. And most of these projects were awarded through the budget. And a project that is awarded through the budget, not until you have a new budget that has that project inside for you to now do the variation that will go through BPP and go to Federal Executive Council, you cannot touch those projects. Hence, Mr. President has directed, and see that in the budget of NDDC, there is a portion of borrowing 1 trillion, which is supposed to be tied to those specific projects. So nobody should have a meeting with our advisory committee. Many boards have actually tried to dodge that because they needed absolute power. But we have realized that absolute power itself does not only corrupt absolutely, but absolute power, sometimes you can also crash. And because we don't want to crash, we need a bridge, which is supposed to be one of our longest bridge project of about 1.2 kilometers, but 60% done. We are looking at that one. We are looking at your Krika-Burukri Road, Bridge and Project, which we also want to complete. So we are looking at these signature projects, which the NLNG wants to partner with NDDC to complete. Just like as we completed the Ogbia-Nembe Road, which was a partnership between SPDC and NDDC. Now we are also challenging Chevron that NDDC is ready. Come back to the table. Let us complete the Chevron, the Madino-Escravos Road and Bridge project. We are ready to partner with you to do it. We are also saying the federal government.
The NDDC, as an interventionist agency, and of course, he stressed the need for more partnership in developing the Niger Delta region. Please, let's put our hands together one more time for the MDCO, Chief Samuel Oboku, PhD. Thank you. And still in the discourse,
Nations of projects and all sorts of things that happened in the Niger Delta. The idea of having a joint work planning process for the various agencies that are working there so that you harmonize your responses and ensure that you are delivering on the basis of your mandate and on the basis of clearly defined benchmarks and results, that makes much sense, as opposed to having individuals who basically come in and do anything they want to do. EU is doing a lot of programs, World Bank is doing, UNDP is doing, NDDC is doing, the states are doing, local, everybody is doing. The Niger Delta automatically becomes, if you look at this scenario, I normally tell people it's hearing all kinds of discordant tones. But we want to move into a symphony where you have a conductor orchestrating the development process in the region. And that's why we have this strategy. Thank you. So there will be cases of joint work planning with the government and the people of the region. In other words, you come up and you say, these are what we're going to deliver, and the people in the region will agree with you that those things you have identified reflect our development priorities. No longer will people just bring in projects that doesn't reflect the development priorities of the people. So joint work planning process will be part of it. Joint needs assessment looked at previous projects and previous policies or plans that were there, and why the shortfalls. I don't want to call failure. I don't want to use the word failure, because there are certain achievements that has to do with the culture of implementation. In fact, there is no problem in Nigeria with ideas, but there is always a problem with implementation. And because we don't have that culture of sustained implementation,